Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We are going to do our very last mission on this side of Homestead. And after that it's gonna be time to move onwards to the Blood Grove. But before that the town wants their armaments back, because they lost them, I think, in the area known as the Conflagration. Which is not the friendliest of places on in the neighborhood. But of course, us being the hero that we are, we can do it. And no, we're not going to die trying. So we have a ton of regen. Also, we have Overguard, which can allow us to boost our regen while it's up. So let's do this. We take a lot of damage from the ether, but we can run through it and boost our regen when we are here. Let's put up a portal here. So most of the time you don't want to go into the ether too much, because the stuff hurts and we're not resisting it all that well. Currently we are resisting it at 10%. Managed to craft this nifty little ring. 10 ether resistance, 10 chaos resistance, 11% damage reflection, and some poison and acid resist, and a bonus to armor. So there's a lot of stuff here to like, but boosting ether and chaos, we are getting towards the end game, where ether resistance and chaos resistance are both very important, as well as vitality and bleeding, but those are easier to obtain than ether and chaos resist. So I did sacrifice my 5% lifesteal ring in order to get it, but I think it was a sacrifice that was good to make here. Okay, let's overguard here. Okay, we're getting surrounded on all sides by stuff that's not really all that happy with us. Okay, so this guy seems to be summoning those undead. Yeah, see, they're crawling out of the floor, the cold ones. So when we kill this guy, the summoned minions should die with him as well. Slightly wrong about that one, or maybe he still had a couple hanging around. Either way, let's pick up the loot. So in terms of defenses, we're doing pretty darn well. In terms of offense, we are lacking a bit. One of my hopes is to get some damage reflection in the build, which will allow us to deal better with archers and casters that try to take us out at range, because currently we need to go up in their face and punch them until they stop casting. With reflection, of course, they take a percentage of the damage they inflict, and we apply it back to them. Oh, let's not fight inside of the ether, that's really bad for our health. So just run through and then they will just follow us.
I can't do that yet.
But focusing a little bit more on our aggressive skills, definitely not going to be a luxury. That's in fact going to be necessary. But we have pretty much maxed out the defensive skills I was gonna go for. Most notably being the Menhir's Bulwark skill, which is this lovely thing which gives us a lot of regen. So now that that one is dealt with, we will be focusing a bit more on offense. And slowly preparing ourselves for a second class. I did a bit of theory crafting a bit earlier.
That skill's not ready.
Just plotting out different builds for either going with the Demolitionist or with the Shaman as our second class. And they both add something very different to the builds. Okay, I don't want to fight there anymore. Let's not do that. I don't want that crystal. Well, I do want it, but I don't want to die. And I know there's a serious risk of dying there.
That skill's not ready.
But back to the earlier topic, second class. So we're at about level 46, 47, 45, something in that range. Most of the skills that I want to get on the soldier will be at a level where I'm happy with it. That's later on, once we either late in veteran mode or in early epic, we will be getting plus 2, plus 3 to all skills. So a lot of skills, they don't really scale all that well beyond max level. So, well, that's for example something like a Markovian's advantage. Currently it's 15% chance to be used. At level 9 it will have the highest chance to be used. Then from 9 to 12 all you do is add more damage to it. So in order to just get it to trigger as often as you can, all you need to do is get it at 9. So if you have plus 3 to skills, then all you need to do is put 6 hard points into it and it works. Similarly, a Warcry, at level 12 it's going to have a radius of 16. And if you boost it more levels are not going to increase the radius. So if you have plus 3 to all skills, then you can put 9 points into it and you'll be happy with it. So if you apply that to all skills, even things like Menhir's Bulwark, Shield Training, Overguard, all the defensive skills as well, you can actually take about 7 points out and divide them. Put a couple of points into Cadence, put a bunch of points into Warcry, Fighting Spirit, Markovian's Advantage, Solhan's Techniques. Well, that's exactly it. That is it actually. Of course, Menhir's Will. I think at 6 points, 9 points, something along those lines. I think I'm targeting 6 to get it to 9, because then it will restore half of your life whenever it triggers, which is quite a bit. And then it will give you a bunch of regen. Similarly, military conditioning, you get 2 percentage points of health up to level 10, and after that it's only 1 point. Something along those lines. So they will have less returns per point invested. So you can target level 7 with this, for example, if you're going to go for plus 3 to all skills. So at about level 46, 47, we will be done with all the points into soldier.
I can't do that yet.
If we don't have plus 3 by that time, I might be able to put a couple more points into it just to keep the useful skills maxed, and then drain them out later once we get more plus skills. Reverse is also true, of course. If we manage to get plus 4 or plus 5 to certain skills, then we might not. Then we can drain even more skills, points from some skills, and allocate them to others. But after that, we will be able to pick up a second class and go full on it. Spend 50 points on the mastery itself, because that will get us a bunch of life and a bunch of stat points as well. And of course, Physique is life, Spirit is mana, Cunning, I don't think it's all that relevant. It's a bonus to physical and pierce damage and duration damage, but that's not really the focus of this build. We just want to stay alive and have enough mana to cast stuff and to equip some jewelry. That's Spirit is in a good spot now. If the research I did is correct, then all we need is about 200, 250 Spirit, and we should be fine.
I can't do that yet.
And we will hit that by just focusing on the masteries and the 10 points I put in already. Let's put up a portal here, just to have it. Oh, technically there's no real point in putting portals up, is there? Because if I die, then that's the end, and I don't plan on dying. This area, well, it's well, not the safest area, but it did teach me the value of having portals to spawn from. But on hardcore, of course, you only get one chance, and if you blow it, you blow it. No more second chances.
That skill's not ready.
But yeah, back to the topic of classes. That's probably going to be my talking point for this episode. What are we going to do with our classes and what am I thinking about doing with the classes? So the Demolitionist is a rather aggressive class. If we select it as a... No, as long as you don't assign points, you can just undo it. So the Demolitionist has Blast Shield, which is amazing. Whenever your health drops below 75%, which is pretty easy to do, it will trigger and it has a 12-second recharge. It will last for 4 seconds and then it will have a bunch of damage absorption. It starts at 50. And after you put about 5 points into it, it will actually increase by 100 per level rather than 50. So at level 12 it's gonna absorb 900 points of damage, which is quite a bit. Even if we're gonna target over 10,000 of health, well, it's gonna be 10% roughly of your health that you get as a absorption shield, on top of the absorption that you get from Overguard and all the other stuff. Chance to avoid projectiles, which scales up pretty nicely. Given that we are really strong against melee and our weakness is in dealing with ranged guys, avoiding their projectiles really useful. Bunch of resists. Maximum resists is nice, and there's fire retaliation, which scales up and it scales with all the bonuses to retaliation. On top of that we have temper. Main reason I'm picking this is because you get a bonus to all retaliation damage, as well as adding extra damage, physical, piercing, internal trauma damage to your main attack, as well as a bit of armor. So this is a way to scale our attack without putting points into Cadence, but we just put it into the passive of Flame Touched, which is an aura, and this one, all it does is boost our damage, we don't get anything else. Well, offensive ability, but this is going to be a 1-pointer. Lastly, a Vindictive Flame. It's an aura, damage aura, that will have a chance to stun stuff. Also boosts our health regen, increases our total speed, so it's going to be a bit easier to run around. And the upgrade for this, Olzuen's Wrath, actually has a chance of attacking ranged attackers. So this is a way to deal with stuff that won't be affected by our retaliation. So we get a very nice mix of a lot of aggression with some defense. So alternatively, we have the Shaman. The Shaman is a bit of an odd match, because most of the skills don't apply. The Shaman really likes their two-handed weapons, so the entire brute force line is not useful. Primal Strike is not useful. Savagery we could use, but it focuses on bleeding and lightning damage, which is not the type of damage that we are usually going for. Although Tenacity of the Boar does boost your health regen by quite a bit. So you could make an argument to switch from Cadence to Savagery and then focus on a weird damage type just to get the regen bonus here. And here there's just more lightning and some physical bonus. But a bit of a mismatch. Again, no, here Wind Devils, just a summon. It's a bit of a weird, it's like a spell that counts as a summon, or summon that is a spell. Yeah, it's mostly a spell, basically, just a living spell. But no, we're not a spellcaster, we're an attacker. Devouring Swarm is a spell, Grasping Vines, it's control, useful-ish, a summon. So all of these things are not really complementary to the core of our build. The only thing that's actually useful over here is Morkdrogen's Pact, a massively powerful regeneration aura, which will also start to increase our health and reduce the amount of poison and bleeding damage that we take. And then later on it's also going to boost our retaliation damage, pierce resistance, armor and health regeneration by even more. So, and of course we have Primal Bond over here, which gives you a little bit of damage absorption, some physical and bleeding damage, less damage from beasts, and a bonus to pets we don't care about. But as a 1-pointer you get 20% extra physical damage, which is not too bad. So completely different from the Demolitionist. There's not a lot of things that you want from the warder, from the Shaman, which together with the soldier makes you a warder, but it is a massive boost to your health pool, health regeneration pool, your resistances, and to your retaliation. And because it's basically only one skill that you really want from it,
That skill's not ready.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff happening here. 2 epics. But because we don't really want a lot from it, we're gonna spend 50 points for the mastery, about 30 points on skills. So that's 80 points in total, which is less than on the Demolitionist, because the Demolitionist is chock full of good stuff, while the Warder is only a partial match. The upside of the Warder being a partial match is, of course, that you actually save yourself a lot of points that you can spend in the soldier. So those points that I talked about earlier about, keeping them at max level minus however points you have to plus 2 skills. For things like Menhir's Bulwark, which do scale on pretty well beyond max level, you can actually put full points into it. Same for shield training and Overguard. You could still spend full points on it, and you will have a couple of extra points to spend on
That skill's not ready.
things like your cadence, your main attack. But the trade-off is going to be we're going to be rather tanky, but we're not really doing a lot with our damage output.
That skill's not ready.
And since currently tankiness is not our issue, but our damage output is, I'm very tempted to go with the Demolitionist as our second class. Looking, do we really have to go through here? Oh wait, we can cut through. Okay, Overguard. No, I don't want to be there. We nearly have it, that's good. Okay, just standing at the edge here. Picking up the crystal. It was a bit more aggressive than I would have liked. And I accidentally hit my rift button. Okay, we have our flask back. Let's run through this. So Overguard's up, flask is up, and we're through here. And then we have some fighting to do. Commanders, they actually have quite some health. But not enough.
That skill's not ready.
So putting extra points into Warcry will also make it reduce the damage that monsters deal. Their damage is going to be quite a bit reduced. So one upside of just reaching more mobs with that is also that we'll be taking less damage, as well as just taunting everything. So they will stop running away.
Can't do that yet.
Okay, that's one guy down.
I can't do that yet. That skill's not ready.
So if this were not a hardcore character, then the choice would be really easy. Then I know for sure I would be going for the Demolitionist as the second class. This being a hardcore character though, there is a very good argument to be made to play it safe and go for the Shaman as our second class.
I can't do that yet.
And just focus on staying alive even longer. Not to kill things faster, but to just not die. And make enemies die eventually. No, slow and steady wins the race, so to say. Hello.
Can't do that yet.
We're counting some tonic resistance over here. Mixed in with some of the ethereals. So yeah, currently it's I'm just weighing the options still. We got almost 10 levels to go before we have to make our final decision. So in the meantime, we will of course devotion ourselves into the shield wall over here, which will get us some damage reflection. That's going to be up about 5 out of 8 seconds, hopefully.
I can't do that yet.
And then we will see how well we can deal with range staggers, for example. Now, do we really need what the Demolitionist has to offer us in that regard? Or can we just focus on the on just staying alive even better and letting the passive tools of the trade deal with the things that try to murder us? There is yet another elite in here, or an epic, or a hero. Guy with a star over his head. Okay, there's quite a bit of damage coming in here. Probably doesn't help that we're standing in the middle of some ether. And it's gone. Oi! Ah, the reborn. Yeah, they get a second spawn. It's also annoying. On the other hand, goes pretty quickly, relatively speaking. And we get our loot. So, yeah, see, it's not really taking a lot of damage because we only have 11% reflection. Okay. Okay.
That skill's not ready.
Well, another good argument for not picking the Demolitionist, though it's has less to do with what the build needs and more with just thinking ahead for future content. I haven't done a series yet where I played a Demolitionist, and the Demolitionist just as a ranged character is a lot of fun to play. So going with the Shaman as our second class would mean that I don't have any content with a Demolitionist yet. Therefore, doing a pure Demolitionist series would be something that would show something completely new rather than showing little bits of it. So, now that I say it, I'm not going to actually use any of the active skills of the Demolitionist, and they are, well, a blast to play. Yes, that's really funny, I know.
I can't do that yet.
But yeah, the Demolitionist is that guy that really wants to see the world burn. And has a lot of tools that indeed will make the world burn. And of course, with going with the Shaman, we're not picking any of the active skills of the Shaman, so we will be sticking closer to a pure soldier playthrough. But yeah, now we have this guy.
That skill's not ready.
So, yeah, lots of interesting considerations. But that's why I'm very happy that I don't have to make the choice just yet. I have updated the description below this video with a build guide that takes me to about 46-47, indeed, just focusing on the soldier.
Can't do that yet.
And then I have 2 different builds linked to Grimkalk for the Demolitionist and for the Shaman. Grimkalk is a little behind. It's only up to patch 105. We are up to 106 now. So there were a couple of skill changes that are not reflected there. But well, it's still good enough to just outline the build and see where I'm distributing the points. Also, is it me or is this guy pretty sturdy? Just not doing a lot either. At some point it's gonna stand up and fight back. Until then though, yeah, we need more spell reflect and we need more active damage output. But that's what the next 10 levels are for. Shoring up our offense. Okay. Now it's standing up and it's gonna do stuff. Let's try to see if the health bar moves, but it doesn't really move. This guy just has a ton of life. And it really, really doesn't do a lot of damage. On the other hand, we are a pure tank.
I can't do that yet.
So there's this riddle. What if an unstoppable force encounters a irresistible force? No perfect shield, perfect sword. In this case, it's two perfect shields trying to kill each other. Slightly less useful. On the other hand, we are slowly burning through it, and it's really not doing a lot to us. So in this case, this makes a very strong argument for going Demolitionist, because we definitely need the damage. And then I still should do a separate series with Demolitionist and then just go ranged, because most of my builds have been casters or melee, but not using guns. Either way, once we level, we get some more damage and things should go slightly better.
I can't do that yet.
Well, in the Path of Exile community, there's this notion that Path of Exile is best played while watching Netflix. Obviously not recommended for hardcore. But I think that a build such as the soldier, especially if you combine it with the druid to go even tankier, it could be Netflix viable. So I think this is just a matter of just holding down the button and keep hitting it until it's dead, and just cycling through your numbered abilities, basically just whenever the cooldowns come off. There's no positioning or anything, it's just grinding through the health. And we get a reward, Mask of Delirium. Also I'm standing inside of Ether, which is not healthy. Okay, any big Ether crystals is 5 levels above me, it's scary. Okay, let's have a look. Mask of Delirium, it's more armor than what we have, bonus to piercing damage, cunning, attack speed, casting speed, chance to avoid projectiles, that's nice. Skill disruption protection. And a chance of 2 seconds of confused retaliation. I think with confused they start randomly attacking their buddies, which is pretty cool. Grants madness. It's a 4-meter radius AoE that confuses targets for 1 to 6 seconds and reduces their resistances. Cool. So you just break their spirits. Potentially interesting. And this is a Eldritch Tome of Death's Chill, which launches frigid waves. Pretty cool if you are a caster, which, well, we are not. Pierce retaliation, pierce resistance, health. I think there is a lot to like about that specific helmet. Ranger's helm. So pierce damage, cunning, health regen and some random stats, but it's really low level, low armor. Acid retaliation. So we're getting some interesting things here. But let's focus on the mission. Oh, loot. Oh, look. Sliff scale wraps. There is even more in here and there. This is lower level, it's level 31. Less armor than we have. It's more offensive than defensive, so that's not going to be useful. And claim this resource for the Black Legion. And we got some dynamite here. Oh, and over here we have another hero. Nemedian, the Reaper.
That skill's not ready.
So you might have noticed that the screen is a bit more quiet and relaxed, and that's because I've disabled
Can't do that yet.
the camera shake at the request of one of the viewers. So apparently it was not pleasant to watch with all the knockbacks and crits and everything going on. As a while you're playing, you're so immersed you don't really notice. But I can totally sympathize that if you're watching it, that is less pleasant. So I've disabled that, so it's a bit more pleasant to watch. Because in the end, no, there's no point in making the videos if they're not fun to watch. Let's see. Your cannons are secure. You get some stuff. And you're welcome. And we got a skill point. So 3 whole points to spend. So because we don't have +1 to all skills yet, we're gonna put the last 2 points into Manu's Bulwark, and later on we are gonna take them back out. But for now, I just want those points. So I'm gonna put points into Cadence, and then next level we're gonna put another 3 points into it, get it up to 5, which, if memory serves me correctly from the build I made, that's about the sweet spot of the points we will have left for Cadence. And then after that, we're probably gonna go after the passives up here, and then finally do Warcry, or maybe we should start with Warcry. So do Cadence, Warcry, and then double back on the passives up here. Because Warcry will give us quite a bit of utility because the range will grow quite a bit. And here, all we do is just add a little bit more damage to our numbers. No, but this is gonna be a control thing, it's not gonna be a damage thing, so it should actually be later, not for earlier. Something like Fighting Spirit, for example, would be better, because it boosts our damage quite a bit, and these are also nice. So yeah, we're gonna do this and then go there, and finally Warcry, and after that we're gonna dual class. Most likely Demolitionist, just because we need more damage, but we'll see if the bonus to the offensive skills over here, if it's really gonna help, and survivability might become an issue. We'll see. But for now, I've been rambling long enough. So I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next episode when we venture out the gates into the Blood Grove. Actually have a chat with our brothers at of the Caiman's Chosen. Bye bye.